Welcome to Cooking with Kefi. I'm your host, George Kurtatis, and I'm lucky enough to have a great friend of mine with me today and a very talented chef, Diane Hendricks. Welcome. Thank you for coming and cooking with me.
Yes, I'm very excited to be here.
Now, you have done so much with your career. Please tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I'm a registered dietitian, a personal chef, and a caterer. And I am the host of Chef Inspired Healthy on the Daily Meal Video Network, which is really awesome.
Which is huge. I mean, millions of hits over and over again.
The best chefs in America coming on. It's really fun. And you're coming on to join me
Definitely,
too.
definitely. Now, a little bit more. You said you do the catering.
Yep.
Dietitian, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I have a private practice in New Jersey where I do nutrition counseling. I actually have dietitians that work with me, but I really focus on the catering and the personal chef business. It's really where my passion is. I just love it. So what I do is my forte is to take just about any dish and lighten it up to make it a little better for you without sacrificing the integrity of the dish.
So basically, you can help me lose this unwanted belly fat.
The little bit you have there, George. It's not that much.
Nice, nice. And you do personal chef work, and you've worked with so many of the world's biggest stars.
Yeah.
I mean, you've had a great career.
Yeah.
And kudos to you. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and I learned from every single one of them. I mean, I've worked with Lydia Bastianich and Sarah Moulton and Todd English and Richard Sandoval. I mean, the best chefs in the country.
You know, our profession is one of those professions that you're constantly learning.
Always.
You learn something new every day. You know, going along with one of the dishes that you're making for us, we're making a rumaki. What is a rumaki?
Well, it's a bite-sized appetizer, but classically it is bacon with marinated chicken liver rolled up with a water chestnut and skewered as an appetizer. So I lightened it up.
So this is definitely an Asian-themed dish.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's delicious because it's got the soy and it's got all of those Asian flavors in it.
Now, you've lightened it up. I see turkey bacon over here?
Yes.
Okay.
Turkey bacon. I like the turkey bacon actually better because it has less fat in it and it actually crisps up really nice for this particular dish.
We've got some chicken breast here.
Instead of
the chicken liver, doing chicken breast, modernizing it a little bit, making it, I guess, also a little bit more palatable to the younger people.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the same, the water chestnut. It is a super simple dish, but it's a great appetizer to get on the table in a second.
I love water chestnuts.
Me too. And that crunch, the crunch of water chestnuts is just amazing. And
a little fresh ginger?
Fresh grated ginger. There's nothing like fresh ginger. We know that.
Molasses?
Molasses. And we have some teriyaki.
Okay.
A little bit of soy sauce. And that's pretty much the whole dish. And it's simple and it's a great appetizer.
Fantastic. Now, the first dish we're actually going to make is on this side.
Yes.
Swedish turkey meatballs. You know, that's one of those things because my wife is borderline vegetarian. She's not completely a vegetarian, but she does eat, poultry and turkey. So whenever I'm making things at home, if I'm making a bolognese sauce or a keema sauce, like we call it in Greece, I usually make it with either turkey, ground turkey, or chicken because then she'll eat it.
Right.
Even if I'm making like a pasticcio, which is a traditional Greek dish, which is layered with meat sauce and noodles, and then a bechamel or a crema on top, and we bake it off, I'll use the ground turkey in that bechamel to make the meat sauce.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
it's
there's so many other flavors going on in the dish that...
Well, let's talk about them. We got the ground turkey here.
Yes.
We got sherry.
We've got sherry.
Worcestershire.
A little Worcestershire.
A little chicken broth.
Little chicken or beef broth. Either one of those you can use. Some egg whites, some whole wheat breadcrumbs, and some great spices.
Talk about the spice a little bit. What do we have going on over here?
We have allspice.
Okay, and describe allspice to us.
And we have ginger.
Okay, so ginger in both recipes, which is good.
Yes.
Ginger helps aid in digestion. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. And then we're going to whisk in some sour cream at the end to thicken up the dish. And this is a reduced fat sour cream.
Okay.
And I love it. And it just adds so much flavor to this dish.
Now, you said allspice. It's such a fragrant spice. Tell us a little bit about it. It's the berries that are ground down, just the smell of it.
I love it. And it adds such a distinct flavor, and you can only use a very little bit of it. It's got the clovey kind of...
It's very overpowering.
Extremely aromatic,
A little bit goes a long way.
A little bit goes a very, very long way. So it's great. I mean, both of these dishes are quick holiday appetizers. Somebody's coming over. You can have, and the wonderful thing about, like, especially the rumaki is after you marinate the chicken, you can freeze that already marinated, ready to go, and then all you have to do is roll it up.
Great. And these are also dishes that can hold a little bit. So
Absolutely.
you can make them in advance, prep them, go get yourself cleaned up for the dinner party, and come back down, and your appetizers are still good, ready to go.
Exactly, exactly. And then you still have moistness because both of these dishes have a lot of liquids involved, so they keep the protein nice and moist. Yeah.
Well, that's going to be enough talking about this because I'm hungry. I want to start cooking. When we come back from this commercial break, I'm going to start cooking with my dear friend, Diane Hendricks. This is Cooking with Keffi. We'll see you in a second. Welcome back to Cooking with Keffi. I'm your host, George Curtadas, and I'm here with the healthy queen of cooking, Diane Hendricks.
Okay.
And we're going to start off by making some Swedish turkey meatballs.
Yeah.
So let's get started. What are we doing?
Okay.
Let me swap this out. I know we're going to need a plate to put these on, so that way we can go over the stove.
You got it. Okay, so we're
Ground turkey?
Ground turkey. Do you want
Hand that
to
over?
make the meatballs, or you want me to? I can add. And...
Why don't I? Sure, I'll mix.
Okay, good. That
I'm
way
easy.
I get to keep my hands nice
Keep
and
the hands clean.
Okay,
All right.
so we've got ground turkey, and again, you can use veal, you can use anything you want, but I like the ground turkey.
We're keeping it healthy.
We're gonna add a little bit of egg whites.
All right.
And then you're gonna start mixing that up. We're gonna add that allspice and that ginger that we talked about earlier. That gives it, and nutmeg as well. That really gives it a really nice flavor. Oh my gosh, yummy. So you're gonna mix that all up, and then what we're gonna do, it's as simple as that. We're gonna add a little bit of salt.
Okay.
A little salt goes a long way, and when it comes to cooking healthy, the bottom line is, you know, we can't taste this because it's raw, but anytime you're using salt, you want to taste before you add too much of it because you can't get it out, obviously.
Yes.
And then we're gonna add some whole wheat breadcrumbs. I don't like a lot of filler, but just enough to bind it.
Holds it together, helps soak up some of these egg whites.
Yep. And that's it. I mean, it's as simple as that. And you're gonna mix them all up, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna roll them into little balls, you know, about an inch. You can make them as large as you want. The most time-consuming and annoying part of this is rolling all the meatballs. That's what I give. I give that job to my
that's
sister.
the sous chef job.
That's my sister handles it.
And right now that's me. I'm the sous chef, so I'm gonna roll some balls
Yeah,
right
nice
now
and small
for us.
though. Nice and small.
Smaller than that?
Yeah, half of that. Yeah, we're looking at bite size. That's what makes the Swedish meatball so nice.
Little gift of that size.
And that's a Greek meatball, I guess.
That's a Greek meatball.
Okay. So you're gonna roll that up, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna sear them off. We're gonna bake that. We're gonna cook them on top of the stove, and then we're gonna make this wonderful sauce that's gonna all kind of bring it together. And then you just stick a little toothpick in it and serve it to your guests. They're very, very simple, but it is a great take on a classic meatball. You know, there's no tomato sauce. It's just a whole different flavor.
You know, when I'm making, like I said earlier, gift of that, which are little meatballs, I have a little ice cream scooper.
Love it.
And I just pop them in so that way they're all the same size.
Yes.
And it goes so much quicker. So that's a great tip for when you're at home.
Yeah.
They sell ice cream scoopers in all different sizes,
Yep.
whether it's ½ ounce, 1 ounce, 3/4 ounce. You know, invest in them because it will make life so much easier. Because as you can see, some of my balls are big, some of my balls are small.
Say that again.
But it all works out well.
Okay. So this is perfect. So I mean, it's really wonderful, and you can also, if you make a big bunch of this and you've already made enough meatballs that you want, you can freeze what's left here. It freezes great. Put it in a freezer bag, and then you can pull it out the next time you have company over, and it's all ready to go.
So I've got dinner for the kids ready a couple days in advance.
Yeah, well, actually, both of these dishes are extremely kid-friendly. My kids love both of these. I mean,
Great.
they're like clean your plate.
Well,
dishes.
why don't we take this over to the stove and start cooking?
Sounds great.
And then we'll come back and make the sauce. So why don't we
sounds
take
great.
it over to the stove?
You got it.
I'll grab a spoon for us.
Okay.
And we're good to go.
And let's get this guy started. Okay.
Last one here. Beautiful. And we've got some olive oil there for you.
Yep, perfect. You want the thing with using olive oil in a pan is obviously you want to heat it up because as it heats up, you know, the more liquid it gets.
Yes.
And most people pour too much in it initially, so you want to wait for it to get nice and liquid. And plus, you have a nonstick
A
pan.
little bit at a time.
Yeah.
A little bit goes a long way.
Right. So it's we have to wait a second while this gets a little bit more liquid, but you also have a nonstick pan. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this nice and hot, and then we're going to just drop these guys in.
Now, sometimes you don't necessarily need the nonstick pan if you don't have one. You can still make this dish. You just
Absolutely.
might need a little bit more oil to just to make sure that they don't stick. And,
Exactly. The
and,
key
and
is
do
to
that.
make them not stick because you know they can break apart if they stick together. So
Now, while you're putting them in, I saw you just recently on the Today Show. Great job.
yes, thank
You know,
you.
you're all over the place. You're just on any morning show or any news show I turn
Yeah.
on the channel. There she is these days.
Yeah, I'm a guest chef on a lot of the morning television shows. I go in and do like some healthy dishes, you know, and just talk about how to cook healthy and how to, you know, the key is to really not think that healthy eating isn't going to taste good. And that's really what the whole point of my passion and my forte is.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, this is in.
This is in.
What do you say we make? You need this?
Yeah.
Oh, it takes
So
a
what
quick
you're going to do is
second.
you're just going to kind of flip them around once just to get them going. And then we can kind of like toss them around in the pan. First, you want to get a little bit of a sear on each side so that they roll around in the pan correctly. You know what I mean, George? So we're going to flip these over, and then we can start we don't need the spoon any longer. Then we can just use the pan.
Fantastic.
Okay, so let's go make the sauce.
And this smells so good. Come on over. Now, I know we need a pot, and what else are we going to need?
Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of cornstarch and a little bit of this chicken broth.
So if you ever hear the term slurry, this is exactly what it is. It's just
took the
taking
words right out of my
taking cornstarch and some kind of liquid.
Yes.
You know, whether it's chicken broth, whether it's water, it could even be orange juice, depending on what dish you're making. And this is going to act as the natural thickener.
Yes.
This is what's going to thicken up the sauce and really make it come together.
Yes, this and the sour cream is going to make it nice and yummy and thick. Okay, so
Great.
we had this on this side.
That's
So
on the side.
Yep, what we're going to do is we're going to use some chicken broth or beef broth.
Okay.
And we're just going to put that with a little bit of Worcestershire, and that's really going to give the flavor. I love
Nice.
Worcestershire sauce.
Yes. Now,
And-
Worcestershire is one of those ingredients a lot of people don't realize, especially when they have allergies. It is made from anchovies, one of the main ingredients. So if you have a seafood allergy, you know, be careful with that because people don't realize it and they're like, oh, I got a splitting headache. I didn't know why. It's because of the Worcestershire.
Yep.
So
That's
you put
it.
the Worcestershire, you
That's
got the
it.
sherry inside.
That's it.
We're good.
And what we're going to do is we're going to heat this up.
Bring
We're
it
gonna
to
this
to
over, we're gonna take this
to a
with us.
simmer.
Yep.
And then we're gonna put the slurry in.
And then we're going to remove it from the heat and add the sour cream. So let's go over there so I can shake those meatballs up, and then we'll get the.
Sounds good. I'll bring this over. Let's rock and roll.
All right, so let's get these guys going up.
Sounds
here.
good. You're flipping them around so that way they don't get too cooked on the one side.
Let me put these in the
Fixing this
back.
cover.
And you can put that on the
Sounds
front.
good.
Okay, so let's
Lower that, and I'll put this one on for you.
Got
Medium high heat.
medium high is perfect.
Medium
We wanna
high
get
heat?
them cooked through.
Good.
Okay,
And
so-
then we need to get this to a boil or a simmer
Yep.
first.
Before we add the slurry.
Nice.
We got that. So we're just going to wait for this to get nice and kicked up.
And while that's cooking, you know, when you're making a slurry, make sure the liquid that you're putting in is cold. Otherwise, it's going to get lumpy and it's going to start thickening. We've got the cold chicken broth with the cornstarch. We mix it together, and then we're going to introduce it to the hot liquid that's going to really make it thicken.
And the one thing when it comes to making a slurry is, I find that people may do wrong is they use water. I always try to use whatever liquid is in the
dish.
liquid is in the dish already. So I think using water, if there's no other liquid in the dish, you know, I think you really want to use whatever's already there because water can dilute some of the flavors. That
Yes.
So let's just get these guys.
You're doing a
These
nice
are some
little
big
flip.
meatballs, George.
We're Greek. We like to eat a lot of food here, you know?
So when you're making them, you can make them a little bit smaller. You can make them any size. I mean, if you want the, you know, what's really cool is when I have leftover meat from this, I make a meat loaf, and I call it a Swedish turkey meatloaf.
Nice.
And you use the same sauce, and it's great for the
And then you
family.
just bake it off,
You just
slice
shape
it
like a
up,
loaf. Yeah,
and you're
that-
good to go.
That's one of the great things about using ground meat. You can, you know, make small meatballs, large meatball, loaves. There's all different ways to do it, and that makes a really nice sandwich. My oldest son loves it. He's 17.
Fantastic. All kinds of tips to get our kids eating healthy too.
Absolutely.
So
let's
these
crank
are
this
cooking.
guy up.
This is getting ready to boil. You know, now it's just the waiting game.
Okay, yep. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna add this and watch it thicken up. So I can actually put this in now.
Fantastic.
So let's whisk this guy in. Now,
I could take that out of your way if you want.
Bib. Okay, now this is just going to start thickening up, and that's what we're waiting for. We're just waiting for this sauce to begin to thicken, and that cornstarch is gonna thicken it up. You can see it already. My whisk is getting heavy.
Yeah?
You know, so once this starts to thicken, don't forget we're also going to be adding sour cream to it, so that's gonna give it an extra thickness.
Great.
So let me just get these guys where we're at. You can also bake these.
Nice.
So these meatballs can also be baked rather than, and we can even finish these off in the oven. Okay,
Well, it
so
looks
look-
right now everything's just about done.
Yeah, look how nice and thick it got.
Beautiful. What do you say we bring everything over here
That sounds
and then we
great.
can plate it up? I'll take the sauce, you take the
Okay.
meatballs?
You got it.
All right, let's head on down.
Yum. Okay. So let me, why don't you give me that baking sheet so that I can put these down and get this hot pan back on.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, and I'll just put these off to the side
Set 'em off
because
to
we
the
got to put the sour cream in, right?
That's it. So what we're gonna do is do you have a small bowl here? Let's temper the sour cream. Okay.
All right, so we're going to temper this.
Yep.
Now, tempering is very simple. It's slowly putting the hot into the cold or cold into the hot.
Right.
So I'm going to stir here.
You ready?
Yep.
And what we're doing is it's so that sour cream doesn't break.
I'm going to switch up my
got
hands
it.
a little
I
bit. I got you.
You got it?
I got you.
Multitasking over here. I've no.
I'm just going to work a little bit backwards for you.
Okay,
All
and then you
right.
can put the pan down, and then we can put the rest of the sour cream back in there.
Beautiful.
So now we've got this so that the cold
That's
has
good.
met the hot, and then we're going to put this all back in here and start whisking this together. So now
Oh, the smell, Diane, is fantastic.
It's so delicious, and it's so simple. You saw how easy it is. I mean, the key with my cooking is that I want the home cook to be able to do everything that I make.
Now, we want to sauce the balls. Do we want to put the meatballs inside or do we want to sauce it on the pan? How
I
do
would
you?
put the meatballs in here, and then, because that way we'll get a few seconds of them kind of like sucking in some of that flavor.
Nice.
So yummy. And actually, if you're serving these at home, a really simple thing to do is to put these into a crock pot.
Ooh.
You put them into a crock pot on low, then they stay warm, and like you were saying, you can go take your shower and get ready,
Great.
and everything stays nice.
So
and
let's
warm.
plate these up because I'm
You got it,
hungry.
You got it, you got it, you got it. Okay, here's one, and then grab one of those toothpicks over there.
You know what? I'm not
Go
waiting.
ahead, don't
I'm
wait.
sorry.
Don't wait. Don't wait. It's so yummy.
This is Cooking with Geffy. I'm gonna try these Swedish meatballs. You can see them all finished up when we come back from commercial. See you in a minute. Welcome back to Cooking with Geffy. I'm your host, George Kurtatis, and I'm here with Diane Hendricks, and we are going to be making rumaki.
Love it.
So we're gonna start, we have to marinate the chicken. That's where the chicken's gonna get all the flavor from.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna start with
A
molasses.
little bit of molasses. You can grab the
Okay.
teriyaki there.
We got some teriyaki.
Yep.
Put that in.
You got it. And then a little bit of soy sauce. You pour all that in there.
Pour all the soy
I
sauce
use
in.
low sodium soy sauce. And we've got ginger. And
Alrighty.
those are the components of the marinade. It's
And
super,
that's
super,
it.
super simple. And it's liquid with a little bit of thickness to it. We're just gonna take this chicken that you've cut in like a 1-inch cube.
Nice.
And we're just gonna add that into
And give
the
it a nice little
marinade.
stir.
Give it a nice little stir, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna let that sit for at least 2 to 3 hours. You can even do it overnight. And like I said before, if you're not gonna make this, if you have extra, or if you wanna just make this for the future, you can just stick it in a freezer bag and throw it in your freezer.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Now, with the magic of television,
Yes.
we are going to swap it out.
Okay.
Here we go.
And that's already marinated.
And this
so
is
we love
marinated?
that. So we're gonna do this together.
Okay. You
So
got to teach me because I've never made rumaki
this
before.
is so simple. It's like
I hope so.
anybody
I'm
can
a
do
little
it.
nervous.
you're just gonna line up. You're just gonna line it up on a baking sheet.
Okay.
You're gonna line up the strips of turkey bacon. This was a whole thing of turkey bacon that has been cut in half crosswise.
Beautiful.
Okay, and then we're gonna take one water chestnut, put it on each. Simple as that.
Okay, put it in the middle of the end?
Towards the end.
Towards the end?
No, towards the middle, I'm sorry.
Towards the middle, okay.
Okay, so we're gonna take this chicken that's already been marinated. You're gonna set it right on top of that water chestnut.
And then you said roll, so I'm just
Start rolling.
over.
And then put seam side down.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people put the toothpicks in while they're baking. I don't put them in the toothpick in it because they get burnt. But if you put them seam side down and put them close enough to each other, so you want to kind of back them up this way to each other so that they stay close. That way you can...
How am I doing? Am I doing a good job?
It's perfect.
Am I hired?
You're hired. And that's it.
All
It's
right.
just like that. And you can fill this whole thing up with rumaki. I'll take that too.
Take that.
So you can fill this whole thing up with rumaki, and all we're gonna do is we're gonna bring it to the oven, and we're gonna bake
Put it
it
inside?
at like 400, 425 for about less than 10 minutes, anywhere between 5 and 8 minutes until they get nice and brown and crispy.
Great, well let's put it in the oven so
do
that
it.
way we can eat.
Okay, good. All right, so just pop it right in, let them cook up, and we'll come back to them, and that's all there is to that. I mean,
Fantastic.
how simple is that?
That's fantastic.
But
So
the
simple
flavor
and easy.
is outstanding, and that is a super kid-friendly dish too.
Great.
Yeah, it's a showstopper at your party.
Now we're just gonna wait a minute. Now Diane, the kitchen's smelling great, so I'm thinking the rumaki's done.
It is.
Why don't you go grab that? I'm gonna clean up so we can plate and eat.
Oh my goodness, look at that. Look at that. These are so delicious.
Oh, they look beautiful.
So yummy. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna loosen this up. Oh, they look perfect. We're gonna take the toothpicks. These are really hot, so be careful.
What, so I can't just go to town on it?
Presentation purpose, yes.
I,
So
you know me, I have to
careful
try these
though.
things.
Hot, 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 hot.
All right, so you're saying wait a minute, because I can see the steam coming off.
The
I
steam
mean,
is coming off.
I hear the sizzle. So
Oh my gosh.
don't go full
Don't go
throttle.
yeah, I just don't want you to burn your mouth. But they're so delicious. Once you see that they're starting to get brown,
Oh, of course.
they're hot though, right? But they're so delicious. I mean, there's that crunch from the water chestnut and the marinade and the bacon, just all of it
That's
together.
fantastic.
Isn't it? And it's so simple.
It's the crunch from the water chestnut that's getting me.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can taste the teriyaki, you can taste the soy, everything. I just love the texture
Yeah.
that water chestnut puts in there. It's
Absolutely.
amazing.
And if you don't have water chestnuts, jicama works very well as well.
Oh, Diane, this is fantastic. I mean,
Yay.
I can't wait to eat. Amazing, simple appetizers, finger foods, great for a party, great
Yes.
for having friends over.
Yep.
This was a phenomenal day.
Yes.
Now, where can everyone see you? I mean, website, Facebook, tell us.
My Facebook is Diane Hendricks, and the last name is Henderiks. I married a
Okay.
Dutch guy. It's not how you would think it was.
Not the normal spelling.
Twitter is D Hendricks.
Okay.
And you can see me on the Daily Meal video network. That's thedailymeal.com, and you can go directly to my page. And you can also go to goodmorningamerica.com, and I have about 50, 75 recipes on there on GMA.
She's all over the place.
And my
This is
website
fantastic.
dishwithdiane.com.
That's the easiest one yet.
Yes.
Well, this was Cooking with Keffi. I'm your host, George Curtadas. This was Diane Hendricks. We made some incredible dishes here. Very simple, easy to follow. You can find the recipes on Facebook or Twitter. But for now, I'm gonna eat Gali Oriksi, and we'll see you next time. All right, thank you.